your favorite little monkey pal's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Star Wars Black Series Target exclusive C-3PO with Babu Frick. Shout out to Frank H. He hit me out, let me know this was available on the website. I sent the link over to my wife and she went and picked him up for me, so shout out to her as well. And shout out to you guys, and shout out to this figure, and shout out to the accessories. So accessory wise, he comes with Babu Frick, which is pretty well done. The face is painted nicely and has a wash, and the eyes and the iris are painted. The little visor will flip down over his face, which is pretty awesome with the black painted on there, and then the orange paint on the stripes on the side of it. And then we have the scarf. We have a waist swivel, which is crazy. The arms swivel and have 1, 2, 3 paint apps on them between the kind of under skin tone and then the little kind of gauntlets on his wrist. All of that is done well. Nothing really moves for the feet or legs, but I don't think it has to. And then you have tons of paint on there. You have the brown, the black, the orange. Like, it all is really well done for being such a little figure. And it's nice. I just said recently, I love getting these type of accessories where they're like smaller characters. Like, I would love to get some pit droids and stuff, you know, stuff like that. And if you balance him just right, he will stand on 3PO's shoulder. However, I wish this little ledge on his backpack was kind of large enough to have his feet sit on, but it's just not, or some sort of peg system. So he comes with Chewbacca's bowcaster. It comes in 2 parts. It is wedged like a certain shape, so it will only fit in if you need a quick cheat sheet because it's kind of hard to see. The smaller point of this triangle on the front of the bowcaster goes up. Has a really pretty good sculpt to it, and then a dry brush of silver throughout. This piece used to be removable. It came in packaged together now, so I'm not sure if they've glued it or what. I'm not going to mess with it because kind of once it gets loose, I feel like it always wants to come off. He'll hold that just fine and support it with the supporting hand just fine as well, with the thumb even through this little bracket there. So all of that works well. The trigger finger I can't get lined up with the trigger guard, but that's the only issue. And he comes with Chewbacca's Bandolier. It's a brown plastic with a heavy black wash over top that looks pretty good, nice and dirty. And then we have the silver kind of parts here that are all painted clean and sharp as well. A little outside the lines here and there. Individual results will vary, but for the most part, pretty well done. And you can drape it over him fairly easily with no problem. It is long on him, though. Good grief. But that's awesome, though, because Chewbacca's such a tall fella. And let's talk about the figure. So the gold is nice enough, and then you have the little silver paint there. You have the silver paint on these pistons here. Everything else has this kind of gold covering on it, which is pretty well done. And then we have all of the wires and stuff, which are painted inside the belly, the blues, yellows, greens, reds, grays. Once again, pretty well done. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but not hateful either. Now the eyes. The rumor is that the eyes are able to change color if you add cold to them. So I happen to have some cold drinks here, and I'm going to see if that's true. So we'll get a good look. Let's zoom in on those eyes, and I'm going to hold this up to it for a couple of seconds here, and we'll cut back. I can't tell if that's any more red or not. I'm not sure that it isn't, but I'm not sure that it is. However, that's the rumor. Gimmicks-wise, it does have this piece that comes off the back of the head, and then you can see the exposed like we've already seen is shown in the movie. And it's nice because it has the little thing on there as well, which we've also seen Zori Bliss hold in other promotional images. So, and then we have tons of paint in there, the same kind of wiring, and then some silver details. You can also see a little bit of the engineering, which we'll get into right now. So it's a ball peg connected to a hinge. You can get down to there, and it works really well. Up to there, and then the swivel. I can't get this plate 100% tight and closed around the head, so that's worth talking about, I suppose. Single ball peg. It feels like a double, though, to be honest with you. It might be. That's a great range on there either way. With the swivel, a little bit over, good bit back, all of that works nicely. The shoulders swivel here, and the shoulder pad swivels with it, and then it has a hinge that comes up to get you 90 degrees. This piston is connected to the bicep and then runs into the forearm, so it will slide up and down. We've seen them use this before, but it's pretty well done, to be fair. Wrist swivel, you do get the elbow bend here, a little shy of straight, and then just about 90 degrees. Wrist swivel, hinge up down on the trigger finger hand. On the supporting hand, you get the hinge in out, and we have some black paint there as well, which I didn't mention. For the hips, we have T-joint and ball joints, I believe. Very limited, but it kind of goes to the character, so you get out to there. and then forward and back a little bit more. Thigh swivel built around it. Nice sculpt work throughout, as we've seen 1,000 times, which we'll talk about here in a second. The knee is limited, but also makes sense for the character, so it's not the biggest deal to me either. Ankle tilt up, ankle tilt down, and a rocker. And that's about all there is to say. I mean, we've looked at this mold, I think, a few times now, at least 3. This will be at least the 3rd, rather. But, you know, good enough, I suppose. So we've done this with the Troopers before, but I figured it was worthwhile doing with 3PO. As a boring character, I mean, you know, a necessary one, don't get me wrong, but a boring action figure, I guess I should say. I wanted to see how many times I've bought this character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times. Final thoughts wise for the negatives is the gold just isn't great. This is one of the problems that has kind of plagued their 3POs, is that the gold never looks as good as what some of the import options offer. But the import options are expensive, and C-3PO doesn't seem to be the type of character that you'd want to spend a whole lot of money for, so, you know, there's a little bit of cat and mouse there in regard to what to do. The only other issue that I have with it is that you pretty much have to have him holding all the weapons and stuff, or his hands look dumb. And I don't know if that eye thing changing color was a rumor, but if it is, then fine. If it's not, then it probably could have been done better. Positives wise, I love that they added the gimmick of the head. I would have felt really shortchanged had they not. It wouldn't have been a whole lot to add, and I would have been irritated. I'll be honest with you, I would have been irritated had they not done it. So I'm glad that they did. I also think it's awesome that they added Babu Frick, and that Babu Frick is kind of as well done as he is. I wouldn't have expected him to be, and I'm not sure that he really needed to be. You know, I think he could have been like a single sculpt kind of deal, and I think we would have forgiven it just because of the size, as long as it was like well painted and stuff, as well painted as it is. But they didn't shortchange you. He's got some articulation, the little visor gimmick. I really feel like, you know, it was kind of no stone left unturned in regard to him, which was nice. A breath of fresh air. Most of this is reused stuff, but at least they put some love and effort into it. You know, we switched up the head a little bit. We had the red on the eyes, Babu Frick, plus the accessories are well painted, so I don't have any reason to tell you not to get this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.